Sky Squad, we are back in the building with another season of Potomac. Season 7 to be precise, okay? Season 7. Okay, and I'm still dressed from coming from Good Day DC this morning. I thought we was going to be talking about Potomac, but we was talking about Kanye. So be sure to tap into that. I'll place the link in the community tab once I find the link. It was interesting. Okay. I didn't know that the man had been blocked from the Instagram and the Twitter, but thank the Lord for that. All right. Anyway, while I was there, I happened to run into Ashley Darby because she was doing the show right after mine. Okay. Now I wanted to ask her, girl, what's going on with you in this divorce? But we didn't have time for that. Okay. Now, listen, happy Monday, y'all. Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy Monday. Okay. I appreciate y'all for coming into this chatterization so early in the mornings. Y'all know I like to do my videos early, okay? I don't know why, but I just like to because I be up early anyway. I'm a morning person, all right? So I just want to say thank you for tapping in, tuning in, and being turned on to this recap. Now, when you come on in the room, act like this is church, okay? Go on ahead and tell us where you're from, okay? And all that good stuff like that because you know we like to know. Now, with that being said, let's talk about this episode of Potomac, okay? I want you guys to give me your rating on a scale of 1 to 10. What you rating this episode on a scale of 1 to 10? All right? Because, see, for me, I'm going to give this episode, I'm going to give it a 9.5. I'm going to give it a 9.5 because it wasn't as explosive right out of the gate. Thank you. Philly Diva gave it 100, baby. Come on now. It wasn't as explosive right out of the gate, but it was good nonetheless. You know, Potomac to me has a comedic factor that I think really works. And the oddity of several of the cast members, the eccentricities are what make this show so fabulously delicious in terms of television content. You understand what I'm saying? The different types of personalities. I saw a tweet, an Instagram post somewhere. You got a former first lady, you got a pageant queen, you got a professor, you got a former basketball wife, actually 2 former basketball wives, okay, when you really think about it. You got a grand dame, you got interracial relationships, intrigue, interest, dynamic relationships nonetheless, all right? Now, let's go ahead and dive into the episode itself, all right? Now, for me, I love that the episode started with the symbol for Potomac, which is the cherry blossom flower. Cherry blossoms are unique to this particular area, specifically Washington, D.C., and the space where they were is a very popular spot when the weather turns, nice. So the episode is titled Spring Awakening, and I felt like they really kept in theme with that spring idea. Now, the other thing that I really liked about this episode was similar to what we did with The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 14, episode 1. The first scene out of the gate featured the core 4, okay? Remember when season 14 started, we saw Marlo, Kenya, Candy, and then in came Sheree. Sheree. I'm thinking about Sheree Zampino from Beverly Hills. This episode gave me that type of vibe in the beginning with the 4 of them getting together. Now, what's unique about Potomac is that Potomac is one of the longest running franchises with 4 OGs still on the show. I think it's the only franchise with 4 OGs still on the show 7 seasons in. Okay. That's huge when we're talking about a housewives show. I'm not talking about Married to Medicine, which is also, and it has like several, like I think what Dr. Jackie, when you have Quad, you have Toya, you have Dr. Simone. Okay. So that is a show that also has long-standing OGs. So I did really, 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 really enjoy that. Right. I'm a professor with 4 degrees. Now, so I really liked the way we started off this episode under the cherry blossoms, a picnic. We see Gizelle and Karen starting out with this picnic. And I love that we started with Gizelle and Karen because that's really that friendship is the nucleus of this friendship group. So to me, it was so apropos that we start with these 2 ladies. I love it. All right. So the next thing we get is that there's some discussion about Ashley being separated / divorced. Separated or divorced or getting a divorce. These are 2 different things. Now, it is important to note that in the state of Virginia, okay, you have to be legally separated for at least a year, okay, before you can get a divorce and have that divorce be finalized. All right. Now, Robyn ambles on up with a red hair. Okay. I don't like the red, Robyn. I like the blonde, don't you? Like the blonde or I like the brown. Don't like the red. Don't know. It don't work for you. It don't move me like it moved me when Candy got the red hair. Okay. That's just me. Don't matter what I say anyway. She done blocked me on the ground. Meanwhile, we also get a little flashback of the 4 of them having lunch together, and I felt like the producers really wanted to like overemphasize the fact that these 4 ladies are the core of this group. Personally, that's what I felt like they were establishing there, right? And the conversation shifts to Mia's social media post about potentially having cancer. All right. Robyn says it feels very attention seeking with the unsure narrative. Gizelle questions if she's playing with cancer and calls it weird. Now, Karen cautions her against using the word weird. She says it's just different. All right. And there's some discussion about whether or not, we'll talk about it later. I'm blocked and blessed. Thank you, Brandy Bella. Blocked and blessed. All right. My thoughts on the post. Let me get into that real quick. Having a family member last year go through I don't want to call it a similar situation, but my family member did indeed have cancer. Didn't tell anybody about it, except like maybe a couple of close friends and family. And what I can say is that I don't think it's necessarily weird that there was an uncertainty, because when you are experiencing this, there is a waiting period where they will tell you that it could be cancerous. And it is usually when they do their testing that you find out whether it is or not. But usually there is a warning that this is what it could be. All right. Would I have made that post? Probably not, because as I reflect on that journey personally, I could not even utter the words, to be quite honest with you. However, she's a grown woman and she can do as she pleases. Period. So that's the end of this discussion for that. The better, I think, response to this is, I just hope she's okay. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind, there is no space for anyone to play with cancer. So my only thought in that situation as a friend in a friendship group is, I hope she's okay. Period. That's just me though. Okay? So they move on to Ashley's divorce. Karen wonders how they got, into two different directions with Michael and Ashley. Ashley says, well, I don't drink. I'm like, girl, are you on a cleanse? Because I could have swore Ashley liked a good, they not limeritas. What are they called? What's that beer drink that people drink? It's not a limerita. Y'all know what it is. Somebody put it in the chat. What's the little beer-like drink that the people drinks, and they put a lime in it or something like that? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Corona. Okay. I think from my remembrance, she like the Coronas. All right. Somebody said claw, the white claw. Ooh, I was gonna say something about them white claws, but I ain't gonna say it. Anyway, Santane says, good morning, Richie. Can't stay today, but wanted to say hi. And I think it's hilarious. Robyn wants a prenup when she's the reason they're broke. Woo! Allegedly. Run, Juan, run. Thank you, Santane. We appreciate you for dropping on into the chat today, and we appreciate your super chat, boo. I definitely appreciate that. All right, so then there was, getting back to Ashley, then there was the alleged threesome that she did not want to engage in because, she only wants the monogamy now, right? And so apparently Michael wanted the three-way. Okay, she didn't want the three-way. She wanted the two-way, but the two-way ain't enough for Michael, allegedly. Michael likes the three-way lane. She likes the dual lane. And so now we got a problem, and it's leading to a divorce. Now, in this divorce, they are looking for houses together. Because that's not confusing. Okay. You rarely hear of two divorced people looking for a house together. All right. That's usually what says no one ever, I don't think. Last I checked. But also they're getting the house under an LLC. So it's under the business. This is foreign to me. I don't know how these types of divorces work, but I hope to never experience it. But maybe this is what happens when you divorce a very rich person. Okay. That I don't know. All right. It sounds very strange to me. I don't understand it. I'm trying not to judge it prematurely because I feel like I need to let the situation play out. But I mean, Emma Walker says business deal, equity. Maybe it is the smart thing to do it through an LLC. But why not do that if you... I mean, I would do that if I'm staying together. Maybe I just don't know enough about business to really make a solid conclusion about it. And I pride myself on understanding business better these days. But I don't know. Okay, I don't know. So anyway, Karen cautions her against taking this lightly because, Ashley seems very optimistic about all this. And she suggests that, you know what, y'all? Let's have a spring fling party, okay? And the girls are all, surprised by Karen's lack of pomp and circumstance because, Karen likes to send invitations along with a singing telegram. Okay. So anyway, the other thing that I did notice is the ladies have new intro cards, okay, and a new standing intro where they're holding whatever they hold. I can't even remember. Is it a champagne flute or something like that? Anyway, they got new ones and they all look amazing. And it's about time, too. You know what I'm saying? It's about time. Meanwhile, Candace and Chris are freezing some embryos. The doctor recommends multiple cycles, and there's a lot of talk about, how this will work. Needles in the stomach. She is now worried about whether or not Chris and his ever-changing schedule will be able to do this on the frequency level that is required to be consistent. So they bicker about it. He's the general manager at, I think, either a bar or a lounge somewhere in DC, okay? And he's usually out till the 1 a.m., all right? Now, the producer asked Candace what her ideal timeline is for getting, for the stork to come with the child, okay? And she says every week, basically, on Wednesdays, she wants to have a child, but on Thursday, she want to go on tour. And so there you have it. They get in the car and they bicker some more about him helping her with the injections and his work-life balance and his inconsistent schedule. He feels like, well, girl, your schedule's inconsistent too. I would be inclined to believe him because I know what a filming schedule looks like, and I know that is very like all over the place. So she too, I'm assuming, has a very inconsistent schedule. Now, perhaps maybe what she just does not like is the fact that he has to work so late. Because I think it is something to be said for when a married couple can go to bed at the same time. Now, let me ask you guys a question, because this is just out of my curiosity. For those of you who are married or who are in some way, shape, or form committed to someone and living with them, do you and your partner go to bed at the same time? Just chime down in the chat, okay? Chime on down in the chat. Do you and your spouse, your partner, your situationship, do y'all go to bed at the same time? I see most of y'all don't. That's fascinating. That is very fascinating. Okay, so perhaps that's just the norm. Mo Beauty says nope, and we 20 years in. See, but you know what? And so that tells me that in marriage, sometimes you just gotta let people do what they do, right? We ain't gotta be on the same time schedule. I tend to stay up a little bit later because I tend to be working a little bit later, unfortunately. Okay. Danny says, nope, I'll be on that treadmill till midnight. Danny, I need to get like you. Meanwhile, Mo Beauty said, wait, I try to go to sleep before he comes in so I don't hear the snoring. Oh, Lord. Ebony says, not at all. My husband getting his master's, so he be in the office all night doing homework. I go down with our 1-year-old. He joined later. Okay. Onyx says, we both in the house, though. Ooh. Boom. There it is. Moving on. Apparently, he ends up cursing. One of them ends up, I guess he ends up cursing at her or cursing while he's talking, and she doesn't like him cursing at her. I, too, do not appreciate anybody cursing at me when they are speaking to me. Specifically, not my spouse. Because to me, no one is allowed to curse at me. That is a general rule for me and myself. No one in my life is allowed to curse at me. And if you do, we are no longer having conversations. Period. The conversation ends there. Velda says she cursed right back. Did she? Ooh, a lot of y'all saying that. I ain't even count that. I ain't even catch that. This is what happens when you're taking notes. Sometimes you miss these little details. And this is why I'm glad I be talking to y'all, because y'all be catching those little details. So those are little things that I feel like they need to, that could be worked on. But that's just me and my preferences. But then she can't say, don't curse at me if you're going to curse at him. That don't make no kind of sense. All right? You have to teach people how to treat you, and you are responsible for what you allow, okay? I don't like to be yelled at. I don't like to be cursed at, because I ain't gonna curse at you. I ain't gonna yell at you. I could be angry AF at you and never raise my voice. Because otherwise, when I see two people yelling and cursing at each other, that feels toxic to me. But that's just me. Anyway, Robyn then meets with Shasha Gabor, okay? Shasha Gabor, aka Charisse. Now, do I mind Charisse being back? Not really. If Charisse is going to bring something to the table, then I'm fine with it. But the problem with Charisse when she was on the show was that she really wasn't all that exciting, right? Like, at least with the current cast, there's something about, I feel like every person can find somebody that you can relate to. Charisse just never seemed to really hit. However, Charisse is the true nucleus of this group in the OG days, okay? She, as Robyn tells us, she is the person who connected all of the women together. So I can appreciate Charisse being in the mix because she is part of the legacy of this show. So I'm not mad at it. But you got to bring something to the table, okay? Anyway, we catch up with Robyn. When are they getting married? We get all these flashbacks, and I don't know. I think they're getting married in February, probably February 6th, 2020, never. I don't know. I don't know. I would be happy to see them tie the knot. I would, totally, absolutely. You know, I would throw them a party from afar. Yeah, I would. I would crack open a bottle of Moet, okay? When I find out that they tied the knot, I am going to buy some bottles. I'm popping bottles. I am, okay? Because just like everybody else, we don't know whether or not to believe that you are actually ever intending to get married, all right? Because honestly, it seems to be working for the two of them so far. So, I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes I'm not even going to say that. That's me saying those types of things are the things that get me blocked. But I think I'm going to say it. Sometimes I be feeling like, is he like a prop? And what I mean by that is this. Is he just really there in this situation for her to have story? I believe that they have a great relationship that works for them. But in terms of it being a romantic one, it just doesn't come across that way on the screen. Now, I have to admit, I have no idea what goes on in their day-to-day life. I am simply speaking about what I see on the show. Let me make that clarification because I don't want it to come across like I'm downing them or knocking them. But the vibes that it gives is we good friends. We love each other. We want to see each other win. Our situation works for us, but it don't need to be a romantical till death do us part type of thing. I just got to be real about it. All right. I'm trying to be real. I ain't trying to be rude. Okay. Anyway, we get into this talk about the prenup. Okay. She wants to talk to Juan about getting a prenup because she feels like the first time, they signed the prenup and she feels like the breadwinner, should not be responsible for handing over their cash to the person that was not the breadwinner. And Charisse is like, well, girl, you think that I didn't deserve the money that I got from my divorce because I was not the breadwinner? Robyn is basically like, nope. And Robyn is like, I'm the breadwinner now. Let me tell y'all something. So much tea was revealed about Robyn in this particular episode, and it was unintentional, baby. Robyn telling us that she is the breadwinner in this situation makes me wonder how would Juan feel about her saying that? Because to me, I don't know that I would really want anybody to, I don't think it's anybody else's business who makes the most money in that relationship, partnership, friendship, whatever ship they have. But if you're gonna tell us, I'll sip on the tea and listen to you. Okay. Mm-hmm. But Gizelle is also spilling her friend's tea too. Okay. But we'll get to that in a second. Now, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out between the two of them. All right. Because I would feel a little kind of way about it if I saw my spouse say on TV that they was the breadwinner. Because I'd be like, how I want people to know that we ain't on equal terms in terms of the finances like that. You know what I'm saying? That's just like, especially him being a man. You know what I'm saying? I think that there's a little bit of, the reality of it is, I don't think any man would want to. I don't know a lot of men that would be okay with admitting to that. And that's me being real. Should they be okay with it? Yeah, ideally. But the reality of it is a lot of men would not be okay with that. Most likely because of a male ego, right? Men oftentimes like to be seen as the breadwinner, the person who is taking care of things. That's just the reality of the world we live in. Should it matter? No. Does it matter? Yes. Okay. Meanwhile, they recap Ashley's divorce and talk about how Michael and Ashley are looking at houses together. Charisse doesn't believe it and thinks that Ashley just wants the attention from the girls. Okay. I gotta admit, the story it's very different. But Ashley does have a very different type of marriage. Anyway, Robyn says, well, why, I don't think she needs attention from the girls. She's getting the attention from the TikToks, from the dance routines and things. Meanwhile, Mia has moved to Potomac, becoming the second cast member to actually live in the zip code. Okay. We learned that she is right down the street from Karen. She is renting for approximately $10,000 per month. Woo! That's a steep old rent right there. Okay. Now, the house, I will say, from what I could see on the screen, is immaculately decorated. Because when people tell me they're renting, I'm always looking, do you have knickknacks and furniture and things around? And sure enough, the house is, I mean, it looks like people live there. It looks decorated very well and all that good stuff like that. Now, it's crazy that she is now in this situation that she is in with the brother allegedly taking over the family business and then leaving her without a paycheck. Okay. Because $10,000 is a lot. And what I have learned when I was in my brokest moments was the rent is always due. Okay. The rent is always due. All right. Anyway, her mama stopped by. She got family over. She reveals to her mom that she has several lumps somewhere in the chest area, and they are waiting for the results. She had a biopsy. And then Karen and her unzipped pants arrive with Ray. And we learned that Karen has had some enhancements to her chest area. All right. So Karen and Mia step aside for a moment, and Karen was worried about her and, wonders, well, girl, do you need anything right now? And then we get a flashback of her friend Jacqueline. This is the first time we're introduced to Jacqueline. Tell Mia that she will be there for her. And Mia jokes that she could even maybe perhaps marry Gordon if anything ever happened to Mia. So then Karen warns her about, taking things to social media because the girls in the group will latch on to it, okay? And Mia seems completely unbothered by what they say or what they think. I do think in this scenario that Karen was trying to be a good friend and trying to give Mia the tea, like, girl, they're going to be coming for you. So be on the lookout, okay? I do feel like Karen was trying to do the right thing in that situation. So next we see Wendy, Professor, meeting up with Peter Thomas. I didn't know we was going to get Peter Thomas in episode 1. What a treat. What a treat for us, okay? Peter Thomas is back. And so she has a vision for a Nigerian lounge. Apparently, Peter approached her after hearing her having a conversation about it. She wants to have library books and a space for the kids in the lounge. Girl, don't nobody want to go to no lounge with no kids. Okay? Listen, I love kids as much as the next person. I don't have any, but I can love yours from afar. I do not want to love your kids while I'm having a drink at the end of a long week. I don't want to see nobody's kids when I am trying to pop, lock, and drop it on the weekend. I don't want to see nobody's kid when I'm heading to brunch with the crew, ready to shake my body onto the ground, okay? I don't want to see no kids when I'm going to happy hour, okay, and catching up with my friends, and I need a drink. No. And basically, Peter tells her that, okay? Again, I love y'all kids. I do, okay? I do. I love them. God, love the kids. But not when I'm trying to get my drink on. Who wants that? Who wants that? Ain't you trying to get away from your kids? You want to bring them there and have them hang out in the library in the back? What kind of mess is that? Who gonna drive home? Not the kids. Meanwhile, Peter's like, nah, girl, He gonna put up his money. You gonna get Wendy gonna get 20%. It's gonna cost you about $300,000. And Wendy's like, ooh, I'm gonna need Eddie's help. Look, Tammy said, I don't want to see my kids when I'm drinking. Blumenthal says, now us with kids think it's a great idea. Oh my God. I love y'all. Meanwhile, wait. Nora says Wendy wants a daycare at the bar. Okay. Listen, if it was 30,000, I'll be up there with Peter Thomas giving him my 30,000. Okay, $300,000. I gotta think about that one. Okay, whoa, 30,000. I would have been. I'm running up there. Let me invest in y'all's Nigerian restaurant. Okay. But no, I think he said 300,000. Meanwhile, she'll get her return in about 2 years, so nothing to worry about there. Anyway, Ashley takes the kids to go visit Uncle Lump and the family, and she's relieved to not have to choose between her family and Michael. They grill her about her finances and what's going on with the agreements and whether or not he's going to help her. At this point, she tells us she will give half of his assets. She does not give us details on the amounts, and you ain't got to. All I know is you rich, girl. She has not hired a lawyer. That might not be a good idea. And they will sit down and he will write a proposal for the two of them. Now, see, this is where I would need a lawyer to come in at, because I ain't saying he's slippery, but when people going through a divorce, you just never know, okay? You just never know. So, girl, get a lawyer. It's all confusing to me, though, and she gets kind of defensive when they tell her that she needs to lawyer up. This is just sage advice from people who have a bit of wisdom and who have been through these situations before, and she would do very well to listen to them if they are indeed getting a divorce. Gizelle's house is looking so much better. Oh my God, this looks like a totally different house than what she was living in before. This house, I said, this, Gizelle, you are on point with. Now, I still think that West Wing looks like an attaché attached to the house, but I can deal with it because that foyer is nice. Okay. I'm going to give her props. I'm going to give her props where the props is due, and I love a circular driveway. Okay. The house looked much better. Nobody else thought so but me. It's just me. Okay, well, I mean, I thought the house was nice-ish. Anyway, she's talking to the girls about Karen's invitation. Apparently, everybody received tacos and tequila. She's questioning the girls about her spring attire that she used to wear, and they have to tell her at a certain point, girl, mama, I thought you upgraded your wardrobe. Nope. Can't nobody read Gizelle like Gizelle's girls. Let me tell you that. I wonder why she dresses so bad. Such a pretty woman. She should get a stylist. A stylist would do her wonders. What I would do is I would hire a stylist, and I would say, stylist, can you just send me outfits for 4 months of filming? This is what's happening. A stylist they're not as expensive as people think they are. And I know she's making enough coin to warrant getting a stylist, because in every scene, she needs to be looking. If you're going to be the person in everybody's mess, the least you can do is look fabulous doing it, okay? It is not enough for just your face to look good, okay? You have got to dress the part, okay? If you're going to be the HBIC Big Sister Almighty, you have got to dress for success, okay? Not dress looking like less. I digress. Anyway, Karen arrives at the venue, okay? for the Spring Fling party. And you know, I see Vivian, who is a couture designer, all right, with several stores here in the DMV, I believe. Anyway, we see Miss Jacqueline arrive, the new person that we have yet to be actually firmly introduced to. Karen introduces her as a fierce friend to Mia. Robyn, no, Karen and Gizelle catch up on the girls. Gizelle flat out says she thinks that Ashley is lying about this divorce slash separation. Karen feels like Ashley wants a house and that Ashley has learned to play the game with Michael to get what she wants. And to me, that is what I believe. Okay? I believe Ashley has learned to play the game to get what she wants. I just came to that conclusion, actually. Meanwhile, Ashley arrives looking vivacious. She's found a house in Arlington and she's made an offer in the name of an LLC with Michael Darby. Now, this is where I'm going to say things will get interesting this season if we see Michael Darby. My suspicion is that we may not actually see Michael Darby this season. I don't know why. But if I feel like I don't see him, then I'm really going to further question the validity of this separation slash divorce. Because a part of me feels like Michael is tired of looking crazy on reality TV and has decided to not be participatory in the world of reality TV, thus making it difficult for Ashley to film that aspect of her life. Ergo, a separation for the time period of filming would be advantageous so that he does not have to be a participant in her story. I say that as a viewer of the show. But I am merely speculating. So let me just state that. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm saying it's speculation. Meanwhile, they question why she's buying a house with him because Gizelle says, well, I wouldn't buy a house with Jamal. And Robyn's name is the only name on that house. I said, Gizelle, no one is safe. Not even your BFF. How dare you spill this woman's tea about whose name is on the deed to the house? It was one thing for Robyn to let us know that she is the breadwinner. It's another thing for you, Gizelle, to now let us know that this man don't even have a name on the house. Now, I will say this. I did see on somebody's Instagram post that sometimes it's advantageous for only one person to put their name on the house so that if you as the married couple want to purchase investment properties, the other person is now free to do so. I mean, you could do so either way, but it puts less stress on the both of you from having to try to be on one house and then try to get more. But with that thought aside, my issue still stands that we've already been told by Robyn that she is the breadwinner, and the information now it's further the ditch is further dug because Gizelle tells us this man's name ain't even on the house. Lord have mercy. Dang. Yes, the way she said it was like he can't afford it. I said, oh Lord. Oh Lord. Anyway, in walks. Oh, anyway, I will say this. Ashley said that she was craving Michael's clunker. And I just chose to bypass that in general because, again, when people on these shows start talking about, their intimate relations and their intimate desires, I kind of tune out just a little bit. JMW says we found out so much tea about Robyn in this episode. Tell us more. She has been skating through these seasons, give us the hot tea and juice, and that they did. Okay. In walks Ray, followed by Candace and Chris. Ashley runs off, and they tell Candace about the alleged divorce. And even for Candace, it's not adding up. Candace feels like Ashley is better than Michael, and we're back on the house situation. Ascala arrives. Hey, girl, hey. Wendy and Eddie arrive, and Wendy marches her butt right on up to Gizelle, who gives her a quick Nene swerve. I mean, the way Gizelle gave Wendy the Matrix, it was like, don't put your hands on me. I don't know why Wendy would have wanted to hug this woman. Yes, you did read her for filth last year. I am sure this woman is still holding on to it. You probably don't really like her, but I'm sure Wendy was just trying to exchange pleasantries and thinking maybe, well, I read her last season, so I'm over it. I'm good now. But Gizelle not, okay? And I guarantee Gizelle and Robyn are going to make Wendy's life a living HE double hockey sticks this season, okay? I mean, and Gizelle was like, don't touch me. Don't you touch me. Okay? Back it up. No touching. I just cried laughing. Let me tell you. I saw Riley this episode. I knew she was going to. I knew when she went to that event. She was introduced as Karen's friend because Riley does design for some of the girls. Anyway, Mia and Gordon arrive, and then Gizelle greets her and wants to know, oh, Mia, is this what cancer looks like, or no cancer, or whatever, girl? I said the level of insensitivity with Gizelle knows absolutely zero bounds. How in the world do you greet someone who may or may not have cancer in such a manner? I said, now what? I guess it wasn't funny to me because I have recently dealt with 2 family members in 2 years with cancer. So the joke hits different to me. I would wager that it hits different to many people who have actually experienced this. Because to me, I get it, you're joking, but it came across as real insensitive to me. Okay? Yeah, I don't know. That was a bit too much for me. And so at that point, Gizelle wants to know if Karen has talked to Mia. And basically, Gizelle confronts her about the cancer post and says it felt like Mia needs attention. Now, granted, again, I would not have posted it, right? Because I felt like it, again, when you're experiencing it, you don't even want to say the word, right? But I can't be mad at Gizelle for asking her about it because it would be better to ask her directly than to talk about it all season long behind her back. So that I can at least somewhat respect because she's doing it to her face. But she should also be prepared that if you asking somebody something like this to their face and they curse you out afterwards, don't look crazy. Okay? Don't look crazy. Period. Because she's about to be cursed out. So there's a conversation about whether or not Karen also was in agreement that it was weird. Karen did not say it was weird. Karen said it was different. Mia says that she was using her platform for a purpose. She got a phone call and it looked like a lymphoma, and she went to the hospital, and she tells Gizelle, F you for thinking that I would even think about faking cancer. And baby, we end right there. I cannot wait to see where this season goes, because my spidey senses tell me we are going to be all over the place, baby. And I cannot wait for all the carrying on and chaos and confusion that these ladies are about to bring. And I say, bring it on, baby. Bring it on, okay? But hopefully, Robyn, I'm gonna need you to tiptoe and tap dance a little lighter on all these breadwinning and telling us what Juan can't do and what he ain't doing, and whose name ain't on what, and those types of things. Because otherwise, I don't know if we'll ever see that wedding.